In this video, we're talking about their properties. The properties are a lot easier if you can remember some basic principles. I always start by looking at deciding whether or not it is associative or commutative. Okay, so here's an example of each. Associative has to do with the groups, like associations. And if you notice, the order stays exactly the same. 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. Okay, the order stays exactly the same. What changes is the groups. Here, 9 and 10 are grouped together. Here, 8 and 9 are grouped together. It's the only difference between this side and this side. Now, commutative and associative are similar in that both of them have the same numbers on both sides. So you have 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 10. Okay, so both of them have the same number of numbers on both sides. As soon as you see that situation where you have the same number of numbers on both sides, you know it's either associative or commutative. Like I said, with associative, it's the group that change, and commutative, it's the order. So if you notice, so you had 8 times 9 times 10, and then actually a better example would be 8 times 10 times 9. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so the only thing that's changed here, it's the same numbers, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. Even the groups are the same. Here we have 9 and 10, 10 and 9. It's the same two numbers. But what has changed is the order. Instead of doing 9 times 10, we did 10 times 9. So it's the same set, but something has moved. So that's where you get the word commutative, which means to move things. So basically, it's order versus groups. Now the other side, sorry for the movements, I have identity and distributive property. So identity is really easy. There's two different kinds, one with addition, one with multiplication. Notice that they start and end with the same thing. Start with 3, end with 3. So 3 plus 0 gives you 3. So if you add 0 to anything, it stays the same. It's the identity. 3 times 1, it stays the same. Again, that's identity also. The distributive property looks very different. Oh, and by the way, none of these look like the other ones, right? The associative or commutative. Distributive, you have 3 times the quantity 4 plus 2. That's the same thing as 3 times 4, so 3 times 4 plus 3 times 2, which is this. So 3 times 4, 3 times 2. The last one, which I couldn't fit on here, so I'll just write it very quickly here, is additive identity. The neat thing with additive identity is that it equals 0. So that's always a dead giveaway. So you take a number, 5, and you add to it the opposite 5, which is negative 5. So 5 plus a negative 5 would equal 0. And of course, that is what we have. The example on the paper is 0 equals 9 plus a negative 9. Okay, so they add up to 0, and that is additive inverse. Okay, we use that all the time when we solve equations. I'll also post a process chart about this.